What happened for me, and I think I have talked about this before as well, is for a long time after that happened to me, because I was only 23, 25 when all this was happening, for a long time I felt very anxious about it happening again. And, my grandmother died at the age of around 30 from a brain, and I think it was aneurysm, so a brain bleed. And so it felt very real to me that that could happen to me. And these things, stuff does happen, right? And it did happen to my grandmother. And so I felt very stressed and very anxious and thought that there was a really big chance I was going to have another stroke and this time I was going to die. And I used to, like, I'd lay in bed at night and hear the blood rushing in my ears and go, oh my God, oh my God. And of course, you can hear that anyway. We've all heard that. But now it suddenly sounded sinister to me and I felt like, oh, I'm going to die, I'm going to die. And I had a lot of this on and off for years because anyone will tell you this. When I speak to anyone who's had any type of event, whether it's been a stroke or a heart attack or some other event, when people have events, especially at a young age, but I would say really any age really, when you start having events like that, you do lose your confidence. You lose your confidence physically and mentally, and you start to, when we're young and we're healthy, if we're lucky enough to be young and healthy, you feel like you're, what is it, 10 foot, 12 foot tall, bulletproof, whatever it is, but you just really do feel uh, nothing can happen to you. And when suddenly something does happen to you and you realize that you're living a human life in a human body and it's fragile, and suddenly just everything can change just like that. When you realize that, it takes a lot. It really takes a lot of your confidence. That takes the wind out from under your sails, might be a way of saying it. And so this is what happened to me, and I see it happen for a lot of people. Now, some people deal with it a whole lot better and just get back on and move on, and well done to them. And some people struggle with it for many, many years and everything in between. I had, I did go back to work within 6 weeks and things like that. But I just on and off, I struggled with this over the years. And I think it would be about 4 years after those initial strokes, I even admitted myself to hospital once because I was starting to have these symptoms. And what was happening is I was getting, my face was starting to go numb, my lips were going numb, and I think my hands, my arms. And I did admit myself to hospital. And the good thing and the bad thing about having had a history of having a stroke is you do get admitted pretty much straight away, which is very lucky. The bad thing is, because of my history of stroke, that they were very extra cautious, which is good, but it's also bad because what it meant is I got sort of over treatment, because essentially I believe what happened is I was actually just having anxiety, and but they weren't sure if there was something going on in my brain, and I got I ended up in hospital for a week, and I ended up on various medications, and one of the medications I went on, I had a severe allergic reaction to, which caused me to be in severe pain with arthritis for about 3 months. So severe that I couldn't even hold a glass of water to drink the glass of water, and I was downing painkillers like nobody's business. And I had always been the person that didn't take them at all. And even though I suffered from migraines, so going from someone who didn't take painkillers at all to throwing them down. So that was the allergic reaction affected I came out in a rash, but also it affected my liver quite severely at the time. And like I said, arthritis, it was really crippling. So the results of me showing up to the emergency probably took me at least a year, if not years, to recover from that with the medications and all of the rest of it. Not having a go at any of the doctors involved, it's tricky when people front up with those things. And the hard thing is actually that with people with anxiety, people don't take them seriously when something really is happening. On the other side of it, people who've really had something happen when they have anxiety, sometimes it's hard to tell when it's anxiety. So it's tricky, right? So I'm not having a go at anyone. I'm just sharing my experience. So what I've learned is how to manage that those feelings when they come up, and how to manage the difference between, do I go to the hospital or do I not?